This is a Global Player original podcast.
Psst. Don't you pissed me.
Hello?
Oh, knickers, I'm on the edge.
You're a woman on the edge.
I'm right on the edge.
Don't push her, 'cause she's close to the edge.
You know what I mean, though?
Trying not to lose a brain.
Yeah, all right, we get it. Do you know what I mean, though, when, like...
I don't know what you mean.
Don't tip me over the edge.
Why are you on the edge? What's wrong with you now?
Everything is just so hard. Everything's so difficult.
Well, last week you were moaning that things were too floppy.
Well, I fixed the floppy mic stress. No. Anyway, not a long story, actually.
Yeah.
You know, have you got that Oyster card yet for over 60s where you can just go free? Oh, it doesn't apply to where you live, does it? That's right. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Right. Well, I have, right? So I've got one. And for some reason, TfL are still topping up my old Oyster card. So there's like 40 quid on there, which I'm never going to use. And it's like...
They're topping it up. What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, it was on auto top up, but it's supposed to only auto top up when it gets down to about 4 quid or something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're just magicking numbers out the air to take from your account to put onto theirs. Genius.
Well, no, when you use it tops itself up so it doesn't run out.
Yeah.
I haven't been using it, obviously, because I've got the old Persis one. Right, which is free. So why, like about a week ago, have they just put another 20 quid on my Oyster card?
I don't know the answer to that, Carol, but that is a very interesting question, which we should talk about a lot.
Well, I think that it's a terrible, terrible problem. And now, right, here's the kind of thing that tips me over the edge, right? I'm like, cancel auto top up. So I'm cancelling auto top up, right?
Yes.
In order to do this, you have to go to a machine and tap your card before the 13th of August, right? Which I think is...
No way.
Yeah. I'm not in London until September, so I can't do that.
Wait a minute. You can't stop it taking money out of your account without you jumping through a hoop of their prescription first.
That's right. That is right.
Does it specify what they want you to wear while you're doing it?
I don't know, but I'm sure they're probably filming you do it, whatever it is. Oh my God, I just can't believe it. I feel, have I lost the card? Have I lost it? Has someone been using it? I don't know. But if, say someone had, then I couldn't do anything about it.
No, I'm sorry, but someone has stolen your card. You have to present your card to a machine before we can cancel the card that's been stolen that you haven't got.
Exactly. So it's these sort of things. And then I just went to hang the washing out and I was rushing doing it. And because I didn't realise the time, and I knew I was having to talk to you. And I was just hanging the washing out and I just kept dropping pegs on the floor. And that was nearly tipping me over the
edge. You need to take a chill pill, Carol.
Well, I can't. It's absolutely boiling down here.
Can I recommend some rosé? Haven't you tucked into the rosé yet?
Well, on the subject of rosé, it's like every day, like Mark and I go, we won't drink today, we'll have a day off.
Every day is like rosé.
Every day gets to about 6 o'clock and we go, I need a drink.
Just can't stand it anymore.
So we don't do it. Oh, God, it's just... Yeah, well, no, you can't do rosé really all day, only at the weekends.
Why? What have you got to do during the week?
What do you think I've got to do? I'm doing my accounts. I'm trying to get a statement from TFL about why they've charged me 20 quid on my Oyster card when I haven't used it for 2 months. But of course I can't do that because it only goes back to a certain amount of time and it doesn't tell you. It says there's nothing. There's nothing. I haven't used it at all up to this date.
You know when I said a little while ago that we should talk about this more?
Well, you see, because you asked for it and I have delivered.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, honestly, right. Anyway, genius, Nickers. You're a genius.
Me?
Yeah.
How come? I mean, I know I am, but what specific item of geniusness are you talking about?
Well, I mean, so do you remember the podcast that we recorded and lost it?
Oh, my God.
And you got it back?
Talk about on the edge. We were stressed out, weren't we? Like we were spitting and I think swear words were involved, actually.
Oh, my God. I was swearing so much. I was so upset that we lost that podcast.
Yeah,
and now I think we built it up in our heads a little bit. I think
a little bit, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't quite as good as we thought it was.
Well, I'm the one that sits through it and edits it, and it is funny.
Good.
So yeah, because I thought it had been lost forever.
Yeah.
We sat here, did a whole hour, and then it didn't record properly. And so I went on Twitter and said, tragic news, the funniest podcast that's ever been recorded has now been lost forever. Then about 2 hours later, some genius person at Zencaster managed to retrieve it from, I've got no idea, they just pulled it out of their asshole. We like them a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that is... But like when it was lost, I remember saying to you that it's going to be somewhere. It has to be. Everything. Is somewhere. Nothing is lost on the internet. No. Nothing. So, and you got it. So
it all goes onto your permanent file.
Well done, Nickers. I was very relieved when I couldn't believe it. Because I tried it, didn't I? But I couldn't do it.
No, that's right. So, so what do we do? Well, we put this one out? I guess it's pointless us saying this now because they will know whether this one has gone out or hasn't. And now I'm twisting I'm twisting my own melon, man.
It's not easy, is it? When like even doing pre-records when we do them at work on the telly, you've got to be like totally untime sensitive, and it's really, really hard. It's really hard. It's like you just can't because there's always something going on.
Yeah.
That won't have happened or won't have been happened like years ago when you finally get to put it out. So
that's right.
I'll
tell you what, we'll try not to. This is the one that we'll put in the can for when you are off on one of your luxurious 10-star holidays and you're unavailable because of the alcohol. To actually produce a podcast, and we'll put this one in the can, like they say in the business, and we'll yank this one out, and it could be in a month, or it could be in a year.
Yeah, it could be. It could be like maybe we'll never use it. But for God's sake, stop it! Maybe we'll never use it, but it'll always be there just in case.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, one idea might be we put 2 out in a week. But then they'll get used to that, and then they'll be like,
no.
You did that last week. Why are you going to do it in this week?
But Nickers,
that's actually what they sound like, the people.
I've stumbled across a bit of a problem with doing this way.
What?
Well, because if... like, say you're reading out problems that people have sent in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They'll go, oh, didn't answer my problem, and they might stop listening.
Carol, I seriously think that ship sailed. People are not listening to this because they're in eager anticipation of us solving a very serious problem of theirs, are they?
Oh, do you not think so?
No, I don't think so, really, no. Because we're very, very bad at our jobs. If that is actually our jobs, helping people with their problems, we are terrible at it.
Well, we are terrible, but I'm not sure people are hanging on for the advice. No, but you know that some people just like to hear you talking about them,
Yeah,
mentioning their name
of
and
course.
everything, and we're not doing that.
Shall we do that now?
Let's do that. Look, I know there's going to be a week coming up where I don't want to do this.
Yes. You'll have dropped one too many pegs on the ground and you'll be like, right, that's it. I'm leaving. I wish somebody had videoed you shouting at pegs. That would have been great.
Oh, but I know, but then I had a pair of shorts that I couldn't, like, they were inside out and I couldn't get them in the right way, and even that nearly tipped me over the edge.
God.
Yeah.
Maybe you need a nap.
Do you know what? I need to put the bloody aircon on. That's what I need to do because I'm just so hot and bothered and I can't cope. Hang on. Oh. And if this is going out in December, I do apologise for moaning by the heat.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the hot heat. Right, greetings, Nick and Carol. Let's just launch into it, shall we?
Go for it, Nick, because I'm dying to help somebody at least. I can't help myself.
I wanted to thank you both last year. You addressed my question, why is it that British people have no style and wear things like Crocs? Was that last year?
God, was it? I remember the Crocs question.
Yeah.
I do remember ranting about Crocs for about an hour.
Seems more like last month. But anyway, you've helped me, so I thought I'd help you. Did you know people are downloading the podcast and putting it on YouTube? Or...
Are they allowed to do that?
No. Thousands of people are listening to it. Maybe you should shut down the YouTube channels and divert the people to the podcast where you can earn a little more. Also, Carol is wrong about naps. Young people nap before going out. Naps are not just for old people, but for people trying to get the most out of life. Hope that's helped. Lots of love, says Jojo. Well, about the YouTube, I think we should, never mind shut down the YouTube channels. We should shut down YouTube.
Oh, yeah, maybe we should.
I mean, talk about a giant waste of time.
Well, a giant waste of time, but also, all right, we won't go there, but you know what I'm going to say. They shut down anybody they don't want to listen to, and they won't shut anything down that actually needs shutting down.
What's the point, though, of putting this on YouTube? I mean, it's available for free on a podcast, on every podcast site that you can name. Why would you go to the trouble of taping it and then putting it on YouTube? In fact, I know the answer to that. It's so that it's the same reason that people stand in concerts with their phone held above their head, taking wonky videos of whoever's on stage. It's so that they can put it on the internet with their name underneath and they can garner likes from strangers. God, it's all so pathetic.
Oh, do you think people are really that shallow?
You know they are.
Well, I mean, I don't know how people can be bothered.
Well, give me another explanation as to why somebody would go through all of that hassle to put something out there that's already free.
Well, maybe they're just trying to be helpful because
that's not helpful.
A lot of people don't know about, like, you know, podcast apps and everything else. And a lot of people just surf YouTube all day and all night. That's all they do. So if you're on YouTube and you're searching for Nick Abbot, I mean, some really old stuff might come up, but then this might come up and that might direct them
okay then
to the podcast. So
right.
I don't really have a problem with it. And I bet it ain't thousands. In fact, I'm going to go on it. And also people think you have to have a phone and an app to download podcasts, and you don't. You can, well, not this one. You don't. You can do it online, can't you?
Yeah, it's on every podcast server that there is. I mean, our own is global player, and you can see it. I mean, hear it on a PC or any kind of thing.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to be positive, you know.
Yeah, no, that's very good. Being positive, very unlike you, Carol.
Because
That's
I'm on
why I
the
didn't
edge.
recognise it as positivity right at the off there. I thought this can't be happening to me, but apparently it is. And as for naps, disco naps, Carol, did you not ever have a disco nap before you went out to do the disco dancing? Show me how you dance.
No, you really don't want to see how.
No, I do.
I'm the worst dancer in the history of the world, but I don't care. I dance every single day. Every single day I get up in the morning and I dance around with my cup of coffee in my hand. I do.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, because this...
To what?
To what?
Yeah.
To whatever's on the radio.
Well, what did you dance to today?
Oh, I don't know. Probably Harry Styles.
Oh, God.
I know, but listen, we've got limited radio here. The radio that we listen to is called Riviera Radio, right? And it just plays, I mean, it's got about 10 songs. They're all on like...
They're all Harry Styles.
No, I actually quite like that new Harry Styles song. It's quite good, really.
If my life depended on it, I would not be able to come up with a single thing that Harry Styles has ever sung, in inverted commas. I have got absolutely zero clue about Harry Styles, but that does not prevent me from having a strong opinion.
Well, and also you don't, because you don't listen to Riviera Radio. How would you ever hear one? So,
well, he's everywhere, isn't he? He's like the new Donny Osmond. He thinks he's the new David Bowie, but he's actually the new Jimmy Osmond.
Yeah, I can see how he would think he was the new David Bowie.
Because he dresses, I mean, all that, you know, the nail colours, what do you call them?
Yeah, nails.
No, the colour, when they colour nails, what's that called?
Painting, nail polish.
Nail polish, yeah.
Yeah.
And the hair and those stupid clothes that some... he just surrounds himself with stylists who get sent all this daft clobber that they dress him up in, and that's it. Other than that, what's he got?
But maybe he just likes those clothes. I mean, you don't know that someone's telling him to wear that stuff.
Oh, do me a favour.
And he keeps wearing those sort of... But then I see a lot of people wearing them, like these kiddie necklaces, you know, like the big sort of... plastic big necklaces. Like sometimes you see, or even when you were little, you might raid your mum's jewellery box and put on a big necklace and just like wonder. Well, I know you wouldn't. I mean, I probably would have, but I can't say that anymore, can I? I can't say, oh, only girls would do that. Because we're talking about Harry Styles, who does it, right? So,
if every single thing he ever puts on has not been presented to him by a stylist, I'll eat one of his hats.
Well, it isn't always the case. Everyone's always convinced that people. Like my friend said to me, she said, "Oh, Kate Moss, honestly, a stylist comes in at 7 a.m. They spend hours trying to get her dressed." And I'm like, "Are you having a laugh?" She wears the scruffiest, almost worn out, washed out black jeans, black boots, and a black jacket every single day. No one is dressing that woman. She wears what she wants. So stop. Why do people always just obsessed with everybody else having things they haven't got? Just because you haven't got a stylist, not you, but my friend. I know you haven't. You obviously haven't. You're Kate Moss. You wear the same clothes every day as well.
How dare you? I am obviously a dedicated follower of fashion.
But you do. So Harry Styles might just wear his own clothes because he likes them. Who knows?
Okay, that's great. If that's true, then I'm fully on board with, he just gets a box from Louis Vuitton and they say, try this, and he wears it. He doesn't go shopping, does he?
Well, I mean, he couldn't really, could he? Can you imagine? He could. I mean, unless they shut the shop for him, and I don't think he's that lost in showbiz. So no, I don't suppose he does go shopping very often, and he doesn't have to pay for anything at all. And then it's no wonder the rich get richer.
That's Carol addressing the cost of living crisis through the medium of Harry Styles trousers. Right then. Hi then, Carol. My problem is I think I'm getting old. I've noticed how I only shop in charity shops. I hate young people. I don't follow fashion or what's on television. My friends are crushing bores, and I spend my evenings listening to the radio and drinking sherry. Should I be worried? I'm in my 50s, says Tim.
Oh, I thought that was from you, but you're in your 60s, aren't you?
Yeah, shut up. I thought it was from Harry Styles.
Well, how old is he? About 22 or something?
I don't know.
Oh God, I know, but it's not bad. It's not bad being old, actually. I don't mind it too much. It's a bit inconvenient sometimes, but
Yeah, but he's in his 50s.
yeah, but it doesn't say. It might be 59 and a half.
Yeah, some people retire in their 50s. I just can't get my head around that. Yeah, I'll take that back.
Well,
I do what I want to do for a living, but most people don't. So actually, I do get it.
well, exactly.
Please disregard everything I've said in that regard. I was trying to think of another word for regard, having already used disregard in the same sentence. I'm an idiot, Carol.
Oh, and I thought you were a genius. Well, it's I don't know. If you're retiring, you're going to retire as soon as you possibly can if you hate your job. But you can only retire really if you're a civil servant, because they're the only people who've got half-decent pension schemes these days. No one else has. It's all gone to shit.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So, I'm semi-retired, I suppose. I retire every other week. Like this week, I'm retired, but in about a month's time, I won't be.
Yeah, but you wouldn't retire from the telly, would you? Why would you do that?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that voluntarily, no.
No.
No, I wouldn't. Not yet.
Because what would be the point? I mean, it isn't really work. It pays, I've got no idea, but probably a stupid amount of money for the effort involved. Why would you give it up?
What do you think my name is? Holly Willabooby? No, it's not. We don't get paid that much, and I know that's going to sound terrible, but I know and it's a lot more than most people get paid, but in TV terms, it's... But anyway, there you go.
Are you sure you want to actually say that? Aren't you contractually obliged not to call your remuneration?
No, I was saying comparatively. I mean, it's not. It's anyway. Yeah, take that out. No, I mean, I will retire because I think that decision will be taken out of my hands sooner or later, and probably not by ITV, but by the world, because travel is just going to become impossible, I think, and in which case I won't be able to unless I move back to the UK, and I can't really see that happening.
No, stay where you are. Yeah. Save yourself, Carol.
Exactly. At least I can dig the fake grass up and plant some vegetables and become self-sufficient. But I certainly can't do that in a one-bedroom flat in North London.
No, you can't.
No, I can't.
It's against your lease.
It's against everything. No, it's just impossible. And you can't, there's no way of selling property in London anymore and just buying something else that is better, because it don't work like that, does it?
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, you buy something and you've either got to move 18 miles away in order to get something better, or if I sold the flat, we sold the flat where we are in London now, and said, oh, let's just get a better one, but just up the road. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Well, no, especially up the road, because that's Hampstead.
Well, up the road, down the road, wherever. We're surrounded by out the roads, down the roads. We've got Camden, we've got Islington, we've got Primrose Hill, we've got Hampstead, I don't know, Highgate, Kentish Town. I mean, it's just ridiculous. There's no way. And I don't think you'd even get... maybe not even a cupboard or a very small garage or a tiny parking space for what my flat would be worth. Nothing.
No.
So you can't do that anymore. I'd have to move to, I don't know, somewhere where no one else lives, like North Lanarkshire or somewhere like that. Do you know what I mean? It is like that, though, isn't it? It's hard. Oops.
What?
I just bleeped again. Sorry.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it went bing. I was waiting for you to go, what was that?
No, I missed that.
Fortunately,
Fortunately, you drew attention to it. What was that?
What was what?
Dear Nick and Carol, please can we implement a very firm rule for talk radio that no contributor can start with the line, "Hi, how are you?" These people who call into talk radio shows have probably just listened to the contributor before them. Have I done this before?
No, I don't know. No, I don't think so. There has been one that people were not allowed to say things when they call in a talk show.
Yeah.
But not, hi, how are you? No.
All right. So these people who call in probably have just listened to the contributor before them, asked the same question. What do they think could possibly have happened in the 30 seconds to make the presenter give a different answer? What if the presenter actually answers honestly? Well, actually, John from Barnet, I'm glad you asked. The cream isn't working and it's spread like wildfire. So thanks for asking. I mean, what are these people wanting? Even worse is when they ask the question and then splurge right onto their point. Right. Without waiting. Yeah.
Oh, that's nerves, though, isn't it? You can hear when people are talking on the radio that it's like it's quite a big effort deal for them, isn't it?
When people call in and say, "Oh, I hope you treat me not kindly because I'm very nervous," I say something like, "Get on with it."
Oh, wait, you say, "Well, I'm sorry, I've got no time for nerves. Bye," to cut them off. Oh. People do get a bit nervous, don't they? I called into a radio station once, and even though I was on the radio and doing a show on my own, I was still nervous about calling into a different one.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, when I went to Florida, I called in my radio hero, Neil Rogers.
Yeah, I know.
And I can vividly remember sitting on the bed, and I was probably more nervous than I've ever been in my entire life. I was, my whole being was shaking. And I think I lasted about 10 seconds.
Yeah, didn't you say something really embarrassing as well? I'm sure you told us that you said something really embarrassing.
I don't recall that.
Oh, wow, okay.
I was, desperately trying to not get dumped straight away and be interesting and perhaps funny, and failed in every regard.
Yeah, you do build yourself up to it. First time I ever called a radio station was, I think it was, it was a late night problem thing on Capital Radio back probably in the 80s. I wouldn't be surprised, early 90s. No. Maybe before that even, I don't know. And I called into
Anna and the Doc.
It wasn't Anna and the Doc. No, it wasn't a woman. I'm pretty sure it was a bloke.
Was it me?
No, it wasn't you. Were you doing a problem show late night on Capital Radio back in the 80s? Don't think so.
Don't think so.
I don't know. It was. It might not even have been Capital. It might have been a local station. I've got no idea. But I do remember literally. I was so nervous. I kept drinking.
and people could tell the difference.
How? I was hanging on for about, I don't know, half an hour, maybe longer. I remember thinking, this is just getting up and I'm going to go. And they cut me off because I started speaking and they cut me off. So I must have been completely pissed. So I didn't even get my problem out.
Anyway, I think that's the end of that. Long-time listener says, Adam, where's my badge? We don't need no stinking badges. Dear Nick and Carol, like many people, I appreciate the advances in technology we've come to enjoy over the last few decades. That said, I have 3 problems. 1, cookies. Whether it's accepting, managing, or rejecting them, no, just go away and stop appearing on my screen. They slow you down, interfere with what you're trying to do, and you try and turn them off from your settings, and the computer won't work properly. I am getting up to my eyeballs with having to set blooming cookies. I mean, it's just, they irritate you so much that you just think, oh,
Allow
right,
all.
I'll
Yeah.
accept everything.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong thing to do. But they should remember your answer, because sometimes you'll look at a news website and every single page it will ask you whether it wants the blooming cookies on your computer. And no, I refer you to the answer I gave 2 seconds ago.
I know. I don't know why. It never used to do that. It used to remember everything, and now it doesn't. Even if you haven't deleted all your cookies, even if you haven't deleted them, it will still ask them every time you go on there.
Yeah.
And see, this is all part of. This is like dropping pegs, because it's the same thing. It is the same thing. It's like everything is impossible. Everything is hard. I mean,
Yeah.
what is a cookie? Yeah, I know they're tracing things, and you have to delete them now and again, because I was looking for a flight somewhere the other day, and I know for a fact that if you keep looking at something, it will detect that, and then it'll start putting the price up.
Yeah.
So I had to delete all the browsing history, the cookies, everything. Did that, restarted the browser, went back to the flight, gone back down to the original price.
It's amazing. Yeah. Or you express an interest in, I don't know, sunglasses, and suddenly everywhere you look, there's an advert for sunglasses.
Yeah. And you don't even have to do that on the computer. You can just say it.
Yes. That's right.
Seriously.
You can dream it.
Oh, it really does happen. It's quite frightening, really, when you think
It is,
about it.
yeah.
It does.
But they make it so difficult, deliberately difficult, to retain your own information. And it's about to get much worse because of this genome sequencing that these evil corporations are trying to get hold. You know what? I can't talk about this for a single another second. That's work.
No, don't, because that's your work.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
we haven't got a sausages topic either.
No, we haven't. So while I finish this email, you think of one. And don't just scan your eye around the room and look for an object. Right. So cookies is one of three. Two is capture, or proving that you're not a robot. What I really object to is having to spend such an amount of time examining obscure pictures, trying to establish whether it's a hill or a motorcycle. I get stressed out on those capture things, because it says just tick all of any of the following 9 pictures that's got traffic lights in it. And you think, well, it sort of has got the corner of a traffic light. So is that the right one, or is that not the right one? And oh my God.
It is quite stressful, actually, and you just feel like you want to shout at the computer. It says, we just need to check that you're human. You want to go, I'm fucking human! 3
is I keep getting prompted to log on to television channels, even if I watch that channel regularly. You've got to go and find your password or your passcode. And I wonder who, perhaps people who haven't grown up with all this technology, how they cope. Yeah, well, that is true.
I don't know. I think it's conditioning people to get ready for worse, I think. I don't know. I mean, what would be the reason for it? They tell you that everything they're doing to make things more difficult. Like, have you ever tried logging onto a bank recently? Oh, my God.
I'd have to say the one thing that has been a massive move forwards is logging in with your fingerprint. I totally love that.
Yeah.
And that's relatively recent, isn't it? And you don't have to worry with all those passcodes or anything like that. And the other thing is Google. I don't know how they do it. Please don't tell me. But Google remembers everything. And so I'll be on my phone, I'll be logging into a website, and it wants the password. And I think, oh, God, I've got no idea. But you tap the space where you're supposed to type it, and Google does it for you. So I'm okay with that. I think. Well, there's probably some evil underhand reason why they're helping us in that regard. But, on the surface, it seems like, oh, yeah, okay.
Well, if you ask me, the fingerprinting and the face thing and everything is all getting ready for storing out biometric data. It is because and they tell you it's because it's easier for you, and it is. That is true. Now it is, but it might not be down the road. But
No.
the problem with the fingerprint thing is that I use a lot of super glue, and then
Wait, what?
I do use a lot of super glue.
I'm on about like 3 or 4 tubes of super glue a day now, man.
No, I'm not sniffing it.
I can handle it. I'm just feeling a bit sticky at the moment. That's all.
No, I'm not sniffing it. I'm not sniffing it. I'm using it to fix things. Like it's brilliant. It just fixes things, right?
Well, what have you fixed?
Oh God, everything. We've got this. The last thing I fixed with it was an ornamental dog.
You know, if I had been presented with a list of 100 items that you would have fixed, that would not have been my first choice.
Well, and it's not even ornamental. It's more of a comedy dog.
Now, can we just establish it's not a real dog?
No, of course it's not a dog. Otherwise I wouldn't be putting super glue on it, would I?
Well, I don't know.
It was
maybe it dropped one of your pegs.
No, it was a pottery dog, and it's a dog like with no head.
That's alarming.
Because it's not supposed to have a head. It's because it's got its bum in the air and its head, and it's supposedly like burying a bone or something. It looks like the dog's head's buried underground. Do you see what I mean? So it's got no head. It's just a dog that looks like it's digging, but you can only see its back legs and it's behind, up in the air.
You've got an ornament that's a dog's arse. Why would anybody A, make one, and B, buy one?
It's funny. You haven't seen it. I mean, it does. It looks really cute actually in the garden. But yeah, I mean, it broke.
Oh, this is a garden ornament.
Oh, of course it's a garden ornament. What do you think it is?
Well, I got no idea.
It wouldn't be digging through the living room floor, would it?
Well, you say that as though everything else about it makes sense. Have you got gnomes in your garden?
Yes.
You haven't. Oh no. It's just this. Why didn't you tell me this before?
We've only got 2, but we've also got like a grumpy frog as well. But we did have a bigger frog called Clive, but he's smashed and he went into about 20,000 pieces, so I couldn't even fix him. But no, the gnomes they were presents from people.
What are they doing? Is it broadcastable?
One of them's flashing his bum.
Oh my God. Well, it's this obsession with bums in your garden.
One of them's flashing his bum and the other one's a lady gnome and she's flashing her top half. And they're quite funny. Well, we didn't realise. That well, I don't know, somebody told us that if you have gnomes in your garden and people can see them, it means you're a swinger. Is that true?
Swinger?
Swinger, yeah.
Oh, please, it doesn't. It means you're 90. A swinger. I thought that was pampas grass.
Oh, apparently pampas grass. Yeah, that means, if you pampas grass in a hot tub, oh, you're definitely one of them.
Well, a hot tub, yeah, or a big sign that says "Swingers, welcome here." That would be an indication.
Anyway, so the gnomes are very, very, very visible from as soon as you walk into the property on the drive, and so I don't know, but we haven't moved them. I don't really.
But are they visible from people passing in the street?
No, because it's quite a high gate and a high wall and hedges and everything's kind of, enclosed.
Because you wouldn't think that would go down very well.
What?
I mean, people would be, like French people would go past going, English.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen gnomes for sale in the garden shop up here. No.
No. Goal-wise, no gnomes.
I don't think they do gnomes. Well, we like novelty garden things.
Right. Well, that's given me an idea of what not to buy you for your birthday.
But therein lies the problem with the fingerprints, because you just can't help getting super glue on your fingers.
Oh, back to that. Right.
Yeah.
Big circle right back to thumbprints on your phone. Right.
Exactly, and you can't get it off. It doesn't come off, so you have to wait for it to wear off until your real fingerprint comes back. I'm not sure if it alters it forever. Maybe it does. I don't know. But I've got to stop using super glue. But I can't, because everything breaks all the time. Everything. I'm always fixing things with super glue. What did I fix the other day? I can't remember. Garden lights, I think.
Well, it didn't break them in the first place.
Oh, it's not me who breaks things.
Oh, I see. Right.
Don't get me started on that. That's worse than dropping the pegs.
Right. Okay. I don't wish to start a domestic.
No, don't.
Dear Nick and Carol, my problem is, on the back of Nick banging on about how boring it was being a child in the 1970s, particularly on a Sunday, I'm now having flashbacks to my younger years, born 1969. Devoid of the internet or any proper telly back then, my two older siblings and I were reduced to extending maximum enjoyment from the one Sunday treat allowed by our stingy, fat-averse parents, one single McVitie's Jaffa cake each. My sister came up with the idea of slapping a Jaffa cake onto the bended knee and then slowly melding it onto the joint through licking.
Oh.
A sort of chocolate biscuit pate on the bone. We licked through the chocolate layer and the biscuit layer and then onto the jelly layer, all on our own individual knees.
Oh my God, that's a bit gross, isn't it?
It actually sounds great. I'm going to do this afterwards. The winner was the one who could peel off and hold up the thinnest final jelly sliver. It killed at least an hour and a half.
Well, only with one Jaffa cake each. Is that it?
Yeah, we're now all still skinny and disinterested in cake. Best wishes, says Ginny in Bromley. Death bat in hand. I love the smoky smell of a burning fly in the evening. They actually smell horrible.
Oh, I don't like those things. I don't know why. I just don't like, because I don't like having to unravel them.
Unravel what?
Well, if you get one of those things with a burning fly, like a tennis racket, they electrocute them.
Mm-hmm.
They get stuck to it and they start to melt, and then you've got to get them off.
Well, think how it feels.
I don't really care how it feels. Flies they're just gross. They're gross, and they're possibly the most annoying thing in the world. Even more annoying than mosquitoes. Oh my God. Flies. I mean,
flies. Yeah. Well, those death bats, they are brilliant because you can't possibly catch a fly. There's no way you can catch a fly.
Yeah, no, you can. You can. I've got to correct you there. Have to.
It's impossible to catch a fly. It can't be done. So with the death bat, you can. They're strong little blighters. It will knock it out the air and stun it for a bit. But if you just leave it where it is, it will wake up after a while and go buzzing about again. But at least it does render it helpless for a brief moment. You can chuck it out the window.
Do you know what we've got now is an old-fashioned swatter. Remember swatters, proper fly swatters?
Yes.
Like little bits of plastic with a thing. Absolutely foolproof. Completely foolproof.
Really?
Yeah.
And then it smushes it all over what it's on.
Yeah, it kind of does. You've got to wait for it to go on the floor or a window or something rather than the curtain. So, yeah. But it works every time. You don't even have to be that quick because the flexible plastic runs at proper high speed. God, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And it was like £1 or something, not even that. In a market in Barcelona.
Nick and Carol enjoy killing things.
Yeah. Pigeons.
No. I'm going to get a big death bat and use it on you.
Oh yeah. Well, when are you going to do that?
Right after you buy me dinner.
Oh yeah. No, that's still on the list of things.
Yeah, sure
to
it
never do.
is. Dear Knickknacks and Cannon, my name is Shia. I put it here so you can't chop it out.
Very clever.
Yes. My problem is this. I am a wine sommelier at a luxury London hotel twice a week. And on the tube in, I listen to your podcast. My problem is when I'm in the lift, and of course the typical Londoner can't talk in lifts, so it's dead quiet, can people hear a high-pitched voice saying, "Fatty Patty," and what do they think? Thanks, says Shia. Oh, I read that already, Shia. What was Fatty Patty again? Oh, right.
I'd just eaten some fresh bread, and you said, "What did you have on it?" And I told you some really fatty patty. It's just the best. It's the best.
Oh, stop saying French bread. I want some.
I know. I'm sorry. I wish I could beam some up.
Yeah, and if you could, you still wouldn't.
No, I would. If it was easy, I would. But if you had to, if you had to identify about 18,000 buses against trains
yes.
Before you do it, I wouldn't bother. No, right.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Hi guys, it's been a while. Have you both visited Kent, and which areas within Kent would you avoid living in? P.S. My whole family loves this podcast. Regards, Co. Which area of Kent would I avoid living in? Kent.
It's not funny. My whole family's from Kent. I was brought up in Kent. They all still live in Kent. So that's really rude.
Which bit?
Not North Kent, sort of on the way to Ashford that way.
Right, well then that bit.
Honestly, you're so rude, Nico.
Don't push me, Carol. I'm on the edge.
Yeah, I'm on the edge. Kent has got some areas that
it does. Hastings is in Kent, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's in East Sussex.
Oh,
Folkestone is in Kent.
Oh, well, Folkestone's great.
Yeah, exactly. It is. See, there's some great parts of Kent. Canterbury's nice. So there's lots of great bits of Kent, but there are probably. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to live like on the estuary part of Kent, like Gravesend and Dartford. Not that I'm saying that there's anything wrong with those places. They're just
horrible places
over there. So I would rather live. Well, I don't know. I'm so used to the sort of Maidstone area. I wouldn't want to live in Maidstone, but some of the surrounding places are really. Okay, but it's
I like
Kent. Have you looked at the prices lately? No, you haven't, obviously. But I'm talking to the person who's written into us.
Right,
so expensive.
Well, everywhere is. It's ridiculous. But Folkestone is really good. They got that harbour arm with all those food places on it, and I think they do, like outside cinemas things and all events in the summertime. That's a really nice area around there. And they got like the art walk. They've got sort of sculptures dotted about the place. And there's a brilliant restaurant there called... Oh,
excellent. Good recommendation there, Nickers. Yeah. What, on the Harbour Arm or in the town?
Just in the town, but near the Harbour Arm. I should know what that's called.
There's a good
pick up pink sauce.
What?
Pink sauce. It's like PINXTOS, something like that. Pick up pink sauce. But there's loads of foodie places around there, and it's very artistic and it's cute. And I like Folkestone a lot.
So do I actually, and I especially love it when it's particularly grim outside because really? I don't know what it is, but I just love that sort of English seaside greyness. I don't know what it is. I just love it. It must remind me of when I was little or something. But in the summer, it's hideous because you can't see the beach. There's just too many people there. But in the winter, when you go down there, and when it's like drizzly and a bit...
Well, I would never go to a seaside resort in anything other than a really hot summer's day.
You see,
Because I mean, they're just day trips for me. I don't live there. It's like go to it's 80 degrees out. It's going to be a beautiful day. What should we do? I'll go down to Brighton, get a 6-pack of beer, and sit under the pier. Who wouldn't want to do that?
well, exactly. And everybody does do it. That's the problem. And then you get to the beach and you go, is there 3 square inches spare down there? And there isn't. So, why would you do that? Me and Mark used to go down to Folkestone all the time in the winter because, I don't know.
Is it not shut?
Well, it's kind of shut. There were a lot of things open in the town, and they got some really nice restaurants in there just before the harbour. And great pubs, great old pubs, but you're not really a pub person, are you? So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't travel somewhere. If it was in front of me, I'd go in, but I wouldn't get in the car and drive an hour to get to one.
No, proper old pubs that are not been ruined yet by, still got sticky carpets and beer mats on the bar and things like that. They've got quite a few of those down there. I don't know. I just like it in the winter. I just think it's nicer. And you're right. Folkestone it really has made an effort, but there's a lot of private money being put into that.
Well, whoever bought the Harbour Arm is doing an excellent job, and they should carry on. With my compliments.
Is that bus? When did you last go there? Because they had a bus down there that was did Greek food, the Greek bus or something, and it was great.
Well, it was last year at some point. I don't remember that.
Yeah, the foodie places are really quite good, and it is nice. But there are some other seaside places in Kent that you probably wouldn't choose to live in.
And Hastings is in Sussex.
Yes,
right?
it is, yeah.
Okay, well, see, have you both visited Kent, and which areas would we avoid living in? Well, we told you, in the estuary part.
Yeah, I don't want to live in the estuary, Gravesend, Dartford, no thanks.
And it wasn't really a problem, but I think we did answer her question, or his, sexist.
That's you. I thought that was very helpful actually, because now you've got kind of a little bit of information. You can go and research it and go on Google Street View or whatever it is and go and have a little look around. There's nothing you can't do with the internet these days. Just, put the little man down and go and have a look.
Right. Peel the super glue off your thumb, press it on your phone, and it'll show you the internet. Right, dear Nick and Carol, I am wondering, as you are both such experienced, confident flyers, if you have any advice for me, as I am an incredibly nervous flyer. I'm currently a week into a lovely 2-week holiday in Lanzarote with my family, and I'm already starting to dread the flight home. Unfortunately, my 16-year-old son is also fearful of flying, and us both clinging to each other and screaming at the slightest bit of turbulence seems to upset some of the other passengers around us. My daughter and husband both love it, and completely refuse to holiday in the UK anymore due to the unpredictable weather. Any advice would be gratefully appreciated. Thank you in advance for helping me and my son, says Louise and family.
Oh, get a grip. Look, here's the thing. There's only one thing you need to know about flying, right?
Yeah. Right.
And I don't know why people are frightened of it, because people think nothing of getting in their cars and driving up the motorway where there are, so many accidents all the time. People drive like lunatics, and it's so dangerous. It's dangerous. If you get into a plane, the chances are, even if you're in a terrible crash, the chances are you'll survive it. It won't be, everyone just doesn't die automatically. Sometimes they do. Right. Sometimes, yeah. I'll give them that, because sometimes it crashes in such a bad way, like into the side of a mountain. Probably.
And I think statistically speaking, most planes crash at some point.
No, statistically speaking, most planes don't crash.
Oh, right. I knew it was one of the two.
Yeah. It's so rare. That's why it's such big news. No one reports car crashes anymore because they happen all the time. But seriously, it's like, it's not dangerous at all anymore. These planes are really clever. And if they do crash, it's because They're too clever. That's probably the problem with that.
They're too clever. Well, they're so smart. They're just like, think about life and the universe and everything and think, oh, it's not worth it.
Well, the plane flies itself these days, doesn't it? And I don't know. You've got to weigh it up. Is it pilot error? How many crashes have been caused by pilot error? How many crashes have been caused by technologically advanced aircraft, which most of them are now? They're not even filthy anymore. This is the other thing. This is the next part of the big green light. Oh, flying is terrible. It's ruining the planet. But no, private jets, they don't. Only big jets that people can go on a cheap holiday with. That's it. I'm telling you.
Who says private jets are all right?
The rich people.
Oh, right. Well, of course.
They have actually said it. There's some kind of tax or a carbon thing that they're talking about, but private jets are exempt. I mean, it's shameless.
Private jets are taken by people in the donor class, and a surprisingly small amount of money bunged to the political party of your choice can get you anything you blooming well like. They're so cheap.
Well, private jets are not cheap, are they?
Politicians.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, sausages.
And dingleberries. Yes.
Exactly.
So is that it?
I'm on the edge. What?
Yeah. Is that our advice to Louise and her son who are nervous about flying? Just get over it.
Get a grip. No, just weigh up how dangerous it actually is. I know it's difficult to understand that a giant, heavy, impossibly huge piece of metal can actually go up into the air and then just go like that to wherever you want to go on your holiday.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but how do those cruise ships that weigh 50 million thousand tons float? How do they float?
Yeah.
No one thinks about that, do they?
I think it's people's collective will. Once you stop believing in it, you're literally sunk.
Well, I think people are scared of things like that because they don't understand how it's done. You don't have to understand. I still don't understand how a plane gets into the air. I don't, and I don't.
Magnets. It's magnets, Carol. Magnets.
I don't care as long as it does. That's all I'm cared about. That's all I care about.
Right.
So you've got to look at the statistics. Statistically, what are your chances of dying in a plane crash or even being on a plane that crashes? They are so minuscule, you can hardly measure them. Fact.
and on that fact, this is a phrase I don't think I've ever said on this podcast. On that fact, that's it.
Oh, I thought you were going to fact check me then.
No, I'll just assume that you're right.
I am right. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to flying, and I don't want people to be scared of flying. Make the most of it because they won't let you do it soon. Dingleberries, sausages.
So, what do you do?
Well, I do a show called Loose Women. It's on ITV. It's at 12:30 every day, Monday to Friday. And I also write a column for Pest magazine, which is out on Tuesdays. It's for sale in all good newsagents and supermarkets. And this week it's...
No.
No, it's not been written yet.
This is time specific, remember?
Yeah, forgot. Sorry, I don't know what it's about this week because it hasn't been written yet. No. So there you go. What do you do, Nicholas?
Well, thanks for asking. I do two other podcasts. One is called the Nick Abbot Habit, which are best of clips from old shows. It's a concentrated amusement, lasts a half an hour, and comes out on Monday as this does. I think you'll love it. It's called the Nick Abbot Habit. And there's the podcast that I do from my Friday and Saturday night shows. You see, we take the news and the ads out, which means that it takes less time to listen to. You'll use less electricity. And by this time next year, you'll have saved up enough money to pay Carol to superglue one of your broken knickknacks together.
Knickknacks. Knickknacks. That's knickknacks. My grandma used to have knickknacks.